ain't so, Mikey. Say it ain't so.
Say it ain't so, Mikey O'Shea. Say it ain't so.
Welcome to this another exciting edition of the Royal Ramble with your host, Mikey O'Shea.
Now, you're probably wondering why I'm here right now and everybody else isn't. Well, the fact of the matter is, Mikey O'Shea made this goddamn show 2 years ago. So, whether they like it or not, if I want to come in here and I don't want them here, I'll do it. Plain and simple. Because, here's the thing, guys. People in the chat right now going asking me, hey, Mikey, why did you portray OCCW? The fact of the matter is I did not portray OCCW. Everybody else portrayed this godforsaken place. Because in the bipolar world of professional wrestling, I can only just take so much. Let's go back a year ago, like when me and Azrael were going after the tag team titles at the cage match show. Me and Azrael were buddies, trying to be a tag team, going up against Marcus Frey and Othello, because, remember Azrael when Marcus Frey tried to turn you into a freaking vegetable at Next Level? And now all of a sudden, like a few months later, you guys become buddies and become the tag team champions. So you decide to destroy our tag team and go with Marcus Frey for the tag team titles. Because, yeah, that made sense, right? So, what better way than to, piss you off even further than take those goddamn tag team titles this coming cage match show at February 1st. For a very long time, I've been trying to do the right thing, but what everybody here and everybody out on the internet failed to comprehend is, back in the day, I was a prick back in the day. I broke people's backs. I put them in hospitals. But people tend to forget about that because they don't want to believe that Mikey O'Shea has a bad side. Well, if you keep poking the sleeping giants, you're going to wake him up. So this February 1st, you're going to see firsthand that you don't mess with me on a bad day. Those tag team titles are coming to me. They're coming to Vito. They're coming to Lucha Pro. Thunder and Lightning. I'll see you then. Say it ain't so! Whoa, whoa!
Oh, jeez. Is he gone? Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
What the hell was that?
Dude,
was that Mikey O'Shea? Did he just come in here?
He hit me, bro. I couldn't get up.
What are you doing? He hit you. You couldn't get up because you're sitting on the couch. Are you serious? You let him in here?
I couldn't stop. Look at the size of that guy. He's a monster.
How did he know that we were stuck in traffic and we were going to be here late?
I was here on time, man. He just came in and just started threatening me, so I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault, Joe.
Well,
I hazard a guess as to what he said. Oh, are we on the air right now?
Yes, we are.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Joey the Bull, and this is OCCW Royal Ramble with Jonathan Malice. And where's our other guest?
They're on their way up. I think they might have chased Mikey O'Shea out through the parking lot.
I'm sorry, John, man. I apologize.
You know what? It doesn't surprise me. Somehow, Mikey O'Shea was, come on in, guys. Mikey O'Shea was one of the bravest souls in the world. And then all of a sudden, you get with the wrong people and you become spineless and a jellyfish, for lack of a better term. He turns on his friends, he turns on his fans, and now all of a sudden, here he is on the show.
Oh, what is that?
You smell that?
What's that smell?
It's the smell of spineless jellyfish, B.A.
Yeah. Hey, please don't tell me that was Mikey O'Shea that I saw in that parking lot.
You know what it looked like him? I don't know. It's the only white dude in the parking lot not pushing a shopping cart around. So yeah, I figure it was Mikey O'Shea.
Jeez.
Man, I mean, the fact that he has the gall to show up after the ass whooping that he got at the last show, come on, man. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, well, there he is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Orange County Championship Wrestling's flagship show on its flagship station, the Royal Ramble on the free admission channel. I am Jonathan Malice, your host. To my left, the inimitable, incorrigible, unimpersonatable one half of the Orange County Tag Team Champions, Azrael.
Started this show, Michael? I have pictures of me on the same show right next to you, buddy. So this is just as much my show as it is yours. And these tag team titles belong solely to me, and they will never be in our joint custody. You are the one that I cannot get rid of. You are the Chris Farley to my David Spade.
Definitely.
And your career is about as good as Chris Farley's. But I am still here, still doing what I do. And we will see you in the cage, because that is the only way that men settle their disputes, is in a 15-foot high steel cage.
And to my right, his tag team partner and other half of the Orange County Championship Wrestling Tag Team title holders. Some people say he is bad at making friends. I say he's getting better at meeting females, but you will say he is B.A. Marcus Frey.
Mikey O'Shea, always stuck in the past, homeboy. You always want to bring up what everybody else did to you. Oh, you turned on me. You left me for the better half. That's what he did. He left you for someone that knows how to succeed, for someone who is not stuck in the past. You talk about what you used to do, Mikey. Guess what you're doing now? You sucking every goddamn time I step in that ring with you. You come in and you don't bring A game. You don't bring anything. You bring a bunch of garbage, a bunch of jokes, and a big ass L every time you step in that ring.
You know, he's right, Mikey. I hate to say it. You know, I did everything I could to help you get along, help you get through this, and really get you up to the next level. But every time I did something for you, you did two things to slow yourself down. Now, you've really shot yourself in the foot by aligning yourself with Lucha Pro. Well, Mikey O'Shea, you and Vito Pepperoni, or Vici, whatever the hell his name is no longer have a place to hide. You will be in the cage.
You might shoot for the stars and miss your dream, Michael, but you have aimed for the gutter and have made it in. So I guess this is the success, is being Lucha Pro, whatever champion that they're going to become someday,
Well,
I'm sure.
I didn't know that laying down with cockroaches was his thing. But I mean, if that's what he wants to do, at least I know where you like to get your kicks.
Yeah.
Laying down in the gutter with a bunch of rats.
And you know, and that's an interesting point, because Saturday, February 1st, at American Legion Post 716, Orange County Championship Wrestling will present its 4th annual cage match. Oh, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. 5 matches in the steel cage to settle scores, championships, and whatever else needs to be settled in that cage. You will see the likes of the Orange County Tag Team Champions against Vito
Fratelli.
V-Pac, V-Pacalypse, right? And the turncoat, the Benedict Arnold of the modern world, OCCW's own Benedict Arnold, or did I say Judas?
It's like Santa came down the chimney, ate all the cookies, drank all the milk, backhanded the wife, peed in my front porch, took all of the toys, burned down the Christmas tree. This is how much you have betrayed me. I believed in Mikey O'Shea, just as the children believe in Mikey O'Shea. The children sitting in the front row, crying their eyes. He didn't high-five me.
I mean,
it
was literally like Santa came down and took a crap in a box and said, "Happy Christmas."
Yes.
Like that. That's what that was. I mean, you've heard of getting coal for Christmas, but he literally gave everyone the shittiest Mikey O'Shea he could.
It's like Santa came down the chimney and started giving everybody dreidels and yarmulkes and stuff, and I'm like, this isn't Christmas.
Dreidels and
Oh my God.
Okay, the views and opinions of Azrael
Christmas.
are the
I want
views
an Xbox.
and opinions of Azrael himself.
Xbox.
They do not represent the views of OCCW, Free Admission Channel,
Bunch of potato pancakes.
or anyone else in their right mind. Robert, can you run that graphic for us for Cage Match? In addition to the OCCW Tag Team titles being decided, you will also see Vintage Dragon defend his title, that's right, one more time, once again, against the man he took the title from. Some would say controversially, some would say outright stole it. Others would all agree he cheated to get the OCCW Heavyweight Champion against Gusten Thunder Uberstug.
Well, I mean, the thing that I love about that match, though, is there's no place for him to run and hide this time.
Nope.
You can't get in that steel cage and find a way to weasel your way out.
Handcuff yourself to whatever you want,
That's
you moron.
it. You're just gonna get your ass whooped the entire time.
He's gonna whip you, climb out of the cage.
So figure it out this time, Vintage.
And nobody's getting involved in our business this time. Last time the entire locker room came and ran out when I was putting the beating on Mikey O'Shea in the corner.
February 1st, Robert. Thank you. Anyway.
I'll have a February 1st one, though. Following Sunday.
I assure you the day is
ran it last
February
week.
1.
What?
We ran it last week. Anyway.
Don't even worry about it. The rest of the information is correct. And remember, February
Don't
uno.
put it back up. I'll find another one.
Febrero uno.
Febrero. Not Februero.
Febrero. I throw an O at
He's
the end of
creating
whatever.
his own
It's like,
language.
you know.
Yeah, Latin because it's Latino. All right. So, let's go on. Also, to be decided in the steel cage on February 1st, you will see a three-way dance of doom or cage dance of doom. Three guys are going to slug it out in that cage for the OCCW Legion title. You will see the current title holder, Freddie Havoc. He will be in the cage against OCCW relative newcomer, Joey Barone, and Luis Tap Out Tapia, the stalwart, and as many people like to say, gatekeeper of OCCW. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
I mean, I just think that it's somewhat of a coincidence that every time Tapia steps in that ring, someone ends up disappearing or coming up injured. I mean, he's trying to find any way that he can to get at that title. So, I mean, big ups to him. Do your thing, but you're going to have your work cut out for you against two individuals. And he's acting happy now like he asked for it. When the last time you tried to stick him in the ring with two other individuals, he was very upset. So now all of a sudden you're happy? It's interesting. Very interesting. I feel like he's got a trick up his sleeve.
He just may. You never know. When you see Mikey O'Shea turn and start stabbing people in the back, you have to tell yourself maybe you just don't know how to judge people at all. Yeah. Okay.
I like the chances of Joey Barone. He comes to the ring with the American flag. He seems to be a true American. He's got America's ass. You see on his pants, he's got the flag right on him.
He's got
he obviously doesn't skip leg day.
That ain't the ass I want to see in America. But
yeah, but you know what? Joey Barone has really made a name for himself since coming to OCCW late last year. He's taken on the likes of Freddie Helmuth. He's had some amazing matches with Freddie Havoc for the first couple months in his ring, and not to mention the knockdown, drag out, slobber knocker, bloodfest that we saw erupt between you and he. You've been in the ring. That was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
That's what I'm saying. It was a good.
Yeah, you're welcome.
A slobber knocker.
I mean, I had to beg my whole family to come watch me, but you're welcome.
All right. So let's talk a little bit. Who do you think? You said Joey Barone comes. You think Joey Barone will?
I really like the chances of Mr. America.
So, there you go. Well,
Lieutenant America.
Lieutenant America. All right, Sergeant America. You will see La Raza in action. You will see Heidi. You will see your favorite
Voodoo Master.
That's right.
The master of hoodoo and voodoo will be locked in the steel cage.
That's right. Freddie Helmuth will be on hand. There's going to be we will have more announcements as we go along, and you will see they will come in here and they'll talk a little bit. That's show that one more time. Cage match Saturday, February 1st at American Legion Post 716 in beautiful uptown Los Alamitos. Doors will open at 5:30. Our bell time's at 6 p.m. The pre-sale tickets are just $15. When was the last time you went to a cage match for $15?
In Tijuana.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, I don't know what they did in that case.
And tickets will be $20 at the day of the event. You can reach us at Delaho Jiu-Jitsu 527-1845 or at the Legion Post 562-430-6033. That's cage match for Orange County Championship Wrestling.
A lot of cockfighting.
All right, can you guys pull it together here? All right, let's bring it back. So,
ever been to a monkey knife fight? That's the last time I paid $15.
Okay.
It was Furious George took the first.
You know, I actually wrestled with a guy named
Gets
Furious
munchy
George. The guy was a dick. All right, he really was, man. He was such a jerk off. Yeah, he was in the old UIWA days.
Really?
Yeah. And speaking of the old days, nothing was better than when you would travel the world to see wrestling. You would go to Japan,
Cambodia,
to see the likes of Antonio Inoki. You would travel to Russia,
Cambodia,
to see
like
the likes of Ivan Koloff, and now you can go to Cambodia to see guys like Damon Devine. Last week we had Brian Chansey on tell us about his experience in South Korea seeing wrestling there. I know you guys watched that show and you chimed in a little bit.
India. They throw the mattresses and there's like a cobra running around in the background. It's really quite glorious.
So to give us a little more information on what's going on in the world, literally world of pro wrestling, our foreign correspondent, Mr. Jack Bruce Davidson. Ladies and gentlemen, it's JBD. All right, we got to scoot over for him, or can he just squeeze his skinny ass in?
I'm about as far.
You're good. Yo, I want to get both my shoulders in the show.
I get my both my shoulders.
Everybody needs to know.
Look at that shirt today. Look at that shirt today. Talking about the Hawaiian.
Let's take a look at this shirt. Look at that. Look at that. Let's see the back. Hey, you got something on the back. I'm just kidding. Sit down, Jack.
Starbucks is a stupid name for something. What?
All right. It's a coffee place, I guess.
All right, we ready for
Yes, what? Jack Bruce Davidson. By the way, how are you enjoying being 21?
lots of AMFs.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's a cocktail. It's a cocktail.
Adios.
the blue one.
Adios, my friend. I got you. Adios, my friend. I got you. Okay.
You can buy a pack of cigarettes. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. They raised it
What-
to 21.
They did?
Yeah. Smokes.
It's
I
ridiculous.
can't trust you to buy a pack of smokes, but I can trust you to drive a tank. It's amazing.
Into Iran, yes. Okay, let's not take that topic on.
All right, story number one. WWE superstars Andrade and Charlotte Flair have announced their engagement via social media. The news broke around New Year's Day when Andrade popped a question to Flair while they were chilling in Cancun. Hooray for a couple that WWE is not shoving down our throats.
Yet. You got to end that sentence with yet.
Yeah.
Because you know that was the first thing that everyone thought too when John Cena and Bella announced their engagement. And they announced their engagement first on social media, and then they somehow worked it into a storyline on television. So anytime that a couple gets together, they always have to figure out a way on how to shove it down everyone's throat.
Don't leave your girl around Bobby Lashley or Titus, though.
Yeah, well.
Why are they?
Bobby Lashley stole Lana or whatever.
Well, wouldn't you?
I'll do my best.
Yeah, I mean, everyone talks about how these guys are bastards for stealing someone else's girl.
I mean, here's the thing: is if you don't want somebody to steal your girl, do the right things to keep her, and she ain't going nowhere.
That's right. Lock her in the basement. Don't let her out. All right.
And then for the next story, this one's a little interesting. Brock Lesnar has announced that despite being the WWE champion, he will be entering the Royal Rumble at number 1 and is likely to build out towards a feud at WrestleMania. A little interesting that the title doesn't seem to be on the line.
Of course not.
At the Royal Rumble?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I get flashbacks to
So your main champion, because it is your main champion.
He's the
Universal Championship is the secondary title. Everybody knows that. So your main champion, who represents your company, is not defending the main title at one of your biggest pay-per-views out of your year. Everyone knows there's 4. There are 4
WrestleMania,
SummerSlam,
the Royal Rumble,
and Survivor Series.
Okay.
Everybody knows that those are the main 4
those were the
that
first
represent
4.
that they represent the company.
Right.
And you're telling me that as an owner, you are okay with your champion that represents your company saying, "Screw you guys, I am not defending this title at one of your main shows." Like, come on, let's be real. Is this not a joke? Nobody else sees this as a joke.
If he wins, does he get like a bye?
He gets a bye. Basically, he's saying
right? Like,
I'm going in to make sure that I don't have to wrestle at WrestleMania. That is basically what he's saying.
Well, he is going in first, so it's not exactly like he's getting a night off.
Why does he have to be number one? Like, couldn't
Because
you
he wants to prove
Okay.
that there is no other man there that is deserving of a title shot.
I mean, if he wins, that just like takes a dump on everybody else.
I mean, it really
bad, though,
does.
doesn't it?
And
Like
I
the
get
Money
it.
in the Bank
It
thing.
is probably a purpose to build a storyline because somebody's going to be big enough and bad enough to finally eliminate him. But I really just the precedence
Roman
around it to
Reigns.
me is a joke.
Bet me Roman Reigns.
Or maybe the Undertaker.
No.
hope
Maybe. That'd be
I'd like to
don't
see
go back to
Braun
that
Strowman
again.
do it.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see. Not the WWE. I just it's so hard to watch now, and SmackDown isn't bad, right? Yeah. But it's really hard to watch Raw, and I watched one of the pay-per-views, and I was so lost, thinking to myself, this is what? Why do they have heat? Wait, who? When you are watching it, and I'm more than a casual wrestling fan, right? When I'm watching wrestling, and I can't tell by watching the whole match who the heel and who the face is, right?
Yep.
I mean, I have to hear it. If I have to hear it, remember, not everybody hears it. There's people at the stadium who are watching,
There's
and
no
who's the good guy, who's the bad guy,
Right.
right? Well, then, if that's the case, then you have to look at, this is a legitimate. Athletic contest, and it's just there are no good guys in an athletic contest. Bad guys, they're just. But you don't get that.
Right.
You don't see that. You see like some weird spot fest, and you just there's no story. Go on, Jack Bruce Davidson. I digress.
No.
Luis has questions.
Okay.
Hulk Hogan did that before. Why is it a big deal now? What did he do before? Go in at number 1 in the Royal Rumble?
No, he never went in.
While he was a champion, I highly doubt
What did
that.
Hulk Hogan do before? Answer me, Luis.
Yes. What did Hulk Hogan do before, aside from stink up the joint for real wrestling fans?
Right.
And Freddie Gabe, didn't you guys also not defend you belts on a month or two off?
You know what? First of all, stop drinking
on
and
Ponic.
texting. Yeah.
And didn't you have called my D and see that you went to BP? Bro, what are you trying to say? We
didn't miss any that I remember.
I think we only took one show off, and that was because we got tired of whooping all y'all asses. So hey, you wanna call us out on that? Find a partner and step in the ring with us and show us that we should show up.
And I was there, by the way.
Come on, man. You really you're gonna compare that to trying to take off one of the biggest shows of the year?
Well, here's
the
the
man's
thing.
trying to take off WrestleMania. Get out of here.
Well, Havoc is wrestling. What's his name? Elmsworth, right? Isn't his next match coming up soon? Guy with no chin.
Oh, well, a guy with no chin going up against a guy with no talent. That's going to be great.
I read an idea. Brock Lesnar wins the 24/7 championship, takes it back to his ranch, and then everybody tries to come to his ranch and get it from him, and he kills them all like Rambo.
Blowing up.
Yeah.
Like Rambo. Did you see that movie?
Yeah, I see
That was
a bunch of
okay. We're gonna digress from the wrestling for a minute. Well, I liked all the Rambos, right? But the interesting, what's interesting is if you go back and watch Rambo 3.
I like when he praises the Taliban.
They praise the Taliban and they call them the brave freedom fighters of Afghanistan.
But he does.
No, they do. If you
I
watch,
know he does.
they have not him, but like they have like graphics that say, "Hey, this movie is dedicated to the brave fighters of Al Qaeda." Yeah. My point is, if you watch all the other Rambos and it's like flag waving or at least heroics and gunplay and all this shit, you watch this last Rambo, it's like watching Friday the 13th or Halloween.
It's a snuff film.
Except no, it's not a snuff film. It's a slasher flick. Except that the good guy is doing all the the villain. Jason Voorhees is a hero and his name is John Rambo. Actually, a very entertaining movie. I enjoyed it very much. But damn,
R-Truth
depressing.
comes on the Lesnar property and he just like falls on him from a tree.
Yeah.
And snaps. Throws him over his shoulder like a deer.
Puts a bunch of instead of thumbtacks in the ring, he throws a bunch of
Right,
10-penny nails and
Shouts out. What's
power
up?
bumps. With an F5's John Cena through
Everybody
it.
want to let go from their contract and be murdered by Brock Lesnar.
Yes, exactly. All right, I'm sorry. We digress yet again.
It's all good. It's all good. AEW co-executive vice presidents Nick and Matt Jackson, or the Young Bucks, have recently announced that the door to a New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW partnership is currently closed, despite Chris Jericho's hopes to have a working relationship. This could be due to the Young Bucks and being critical about New Japan and how they were booked there.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a sign of the inmates running the asylum, because then that's when people start making decisions for a company
based on their own personal experience.
Yeah. Exactly. If you had an actual executive in place that was running things and saying, you know what, we can comb this relationship over and figure out how to make this work. That is the best way to make your way up the marks in the wrestling business. You don't cut off your nose to spite your face.
Well, to be fair though, I mean the way they do business in Japan is so much different than the way they do business here.
Right.
I mean if they don't, there's more to it, I'm sure. I mean they've been to Japan, they've wrestled in Japan, they've dealt with New Japan, and even they may have gone through some opening negotiations and whatnot, and have found out that maybe this just isn't going to work,
right.
And that happens. I've tried to deal with people before, from out of state, other cities, and it just can't be done. It just can't be done
because it's a boat that it's very rocky when you start sitting there and saying, okay, well if we book a show and you put your best guy up against our best guy. And then you to sit there and be like, oh, how is this going to end? And how are we going to make sure that everybody leaves happy? Right. And why, if we wrestle on your dirt, why are your guys more important than mine?
Yeah, and it's like, well, you know what? Our guy has to win first,
right.
And then we'll let your guy beat our guy. No one trusts each other. Yes, it's difficult, and you know what? You've been in this small portion of the wrestling world, and you've already seen how untrustworthy so many people are, right? Yeah. Imagine when there's millions of dollars on the line, how dicey it all gets. So, I understand not wanting to work with anyone else because, frankly, there's very few people in this business just around here that I would like to work with.
Do you remember when Godzilla fought King Kong?
No.
He did.
I know he did, but
Who won?
King Kong.
In America, and then in Japan, Godzilla won.
Yep.
That's right.
They had two.
That's right. But at the end of the movie, they fought. Didn't they fight on an island and King Kong swam away?
Yeah.
Then John Cena won.
All right.
Pretty The Rock won that one.
Right. What? No,
The Rock's in all the movies.
Oh, right then. Okay, Jack Bruce Davis. What else we got?
Right. While we're on the subject of New Japan collaborating with people, CMLL and New Japan have recently released a card of their collaboration event tour, Fantastica Mania 2020, with the events on January 10th in Osaka, Japan, and the events 16th, 17th, 19th, and 20th occurring in Tokyo. Matches include Tiger versus Tiger Mask and a CMLL title match between Ultimo Guerrero and Satoshi Kojima.
Once again, Satoshi Kojima? Is that his name?
Yes, Satoshi Kojima.
One more time. Who's he wrestling?
Ultimo Guerrero.
And he's wrestling I'm just kidding. All right. Yes, Ultimo Guerrero is wrestling Satoshi. Right now, I don't. Koshima. Does anybody know anything about either one of those guys?
No.
All right, then. Moving right along.
All right.
I don't know if I like all these countries allying against the United States. I feel like there's trouble a brewing there.
Get used to it. It's gonna happen.
Wrong on the war.
All right, and then on a little bit of more of a somber note, Eric Angle, Kurt Angle's twin brother, has pled guilty for his role in an underground group responsible for selling and manufacturing steroids on the dark web.
That's so weird.
Him and two other co-workers
Co-conspiracy.
were set to go to trial, but he pled guilty to a drug conspiracy charge instead. Angle admitted to the purchase of 721 grams of liquefied steroids for Reed's distribution. His sentence will come in April.
Wait, it comes in liquid form?
Steroids?
I've been. Never mind. I admit to nothing.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you're not gonna? We have a wellness policy at OCCW.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No, I'll pee into whatever you want.
Yeah, okay. I know that.
It means everybody's
I know
fine.
that. Believe me.
Days notice.
All right. Yes. Okay.
That was the case. So all you have is loot the wrestling fee.
Dark web. How do you get on the dark
I was just
web?
gonna ask you guys: has anyone
Explain
here
that to
been
me.
on the dark web? Robert,
Don't lie to me.
have you
Robert.
been on the dark web?
Yeah, I sell babies all the time.
Oh,
No, I'm serious.
so
Have you been on the dark web? How do you get on? Tell me, how do you get on the dark web?
Do I flip a button?
You don't wanna get on it.
Right, like-
Is the dark web just a term for like black market? There's
Right,
not really
like,
a market you go to
Right.
where it's nothing but.
Do I just type in like
You need a code
black
to get in.
mark it. And
What's
it'll
that?
take me there.
probably don't want to say you know if you know.
Oh, okay.
You need a code to get in.
Code to get in.
Oh, okay. So there's actually a dark web.
Yeah.
You need to know, guys.
Okay, it's not like the black
Like
market.
the Matrix. You ever seen the Matrix?
Okay.
It's like the Matrix.
It's
You go
dark
down
market.
the rabbit hole.
So, just market.
I got
So
you.
I type in market on my computer and it just comes up.
Yeah, me and you.
It's like, oh, that's a black man typing that in. So
I'm in the black hub.
He's on the dark web. All right, what else we got?
All right, Mercedes Martinez.
So when I watch BET, is that dark cable? Is it like
The views and opinions and stupid questions of Azrael are the
Dark
views,
web.
opinions, and questions of Azrael himself. They do not represent Orange County Championship Wrestling, the Royal Ramble, or the Free Admission Channel. Thank
like
you.
LSU versus Grambling? That's all the football. Like
He's your friend.
what?
All right, Jack
All
Bruce
right.
Davidson. Look, the white dudes are laughing. They think it's the funniest thing ever.
Mercedes Martinez has signed a contract with WWE. She was previously in the last two WWE Mae Young Classics and in AEW's Casino Battle Royal. So adding some depth to the female roster, I see.
Mia Yim. That's all I have to say to that.
I like that.
Is that Mia? Is she Mia Yim?
No, but
Oh.
Mia Yim is amazing.
I've
so.
met a lot of girls named Mercedes and put their kids through college with my $1 bills.
Exactly. Mercedes and Lexus, right?
Mercedes, Porsche, Lexus.
Yes, yes.
Every cough medicine out there.
Named after whatever they can't buy.
Lipitor.
College education.
All right.
All right. And
Next
then,
thing.
to wrap it up, George Gray, also known as One Man Gang, has lost his home in Baton Rouge in a flood. Worst of all, his insurance won't cover it due to not living in a
Dude, you're not
designated
paying it?
flood zone.
Oh, okay.
He is not the only one. As 125,000 of our citizens in Central City, Louisiana, are stuck with that, and he's stuck with with a bill of $75,000 just to get his house fixed up.
I mean, didn't they learn anything after Katrina? I'd have moved the hell up out of Louisiana a long time ago. Like they keep getting hit by it, and then it's like, did your insurance cover it back then? You think they're gonna all of a sudden cover it now?
Yeah, because people are much more honest now, especially insurance companies.
Come on, like learn your lesson after the first time. Like,
Well, that's not very empathetic there,
I mean,
B.A.
I'm sorry.
No wonder you're bad at making friends.
Because here's the thing: it's literally like George Bush said: "Fool me once, shame on you. You fool me once, can't be fooled again."
Yeah,
like
the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, then. That said, Jack Bruce Davidson, let me ask you a question.
Let's hear it.
Who do you think is going to win the Royal Ramble? Royal Rumble.
I always win the Royal Ramble.
We won the Royal Ramble.
Yeah, I won it from Mikey O'Shea, fair and square.
Who
Yes.
who I'd like to see win it, or who do I think is actually going to win it?
Well, let me say that again. Who do you think is going to win the Royal Ramble? Rumble. No, I don't watch WWE
I'm going to
at
win
all.
the Royal Ramble, and I think that I think it's going to be Roman Reigns, honestly.
See?
Or Drew McIntyre. I could see McIntyre winning it.
I think that push that they're giving to McIntyre right now is saying a lot because he's coming out and squashing everybody week after week, and it's literally them going, "Hey, gear up to see this guy more." Do I agree with it? It is what it is. I mean, Vince McMahon has loved Drew McIntyre since the day he signed him the first time.
The chosen one.
Yeah, they literally named him the chosen one when he signed on because Vince said this guy is the next guy. So I think he went off and he took a couple of good doses to bulk up a little bit, and then he came back and he's everything that Vince wanted him to be the first time.
Interesting. All right. Well,
I want Kofi Kingston to win. Can we Kofi Kingston, and then he fights Brock Lesnar again and then beats him. I mean, he's not gonna, but that'd be cool. Like all the times that Kofi Kingston creatively got himself back into the Royal Rumble match. You think at one of those times he'd put like 3 or 4 of those together and then win?
Yeah, you would think.
But,
I know that's not going to happen because that's not the world that we live in. But man, that'd be funny.
Yeah, especially because like after he got destroyed by Brock Lesnar, he just kind of like tucked his tail and went,
Right?
All right,
Showing
I guess
up,
that's
Tag team titles.
yeah. I mean, but come on, for real, you were a world champion, and then you're gonna lose the world title in almost record-breaking fashion on a SmackDown episode, and just tuck your tail and go the opposite way.
And not try to get it
Like,
back.
come on.
You
like,
should want to beat that guy.
yeah,
I
like
could
that
beat
should be your
guy.
drive of, no, I'm going to do all that I can to get back in that circle. He has not come out and said anything about, well, thanks y'all after 11 years for finally giving me the opportunity to be that Negro. Now I'm going to go the opposite way.
The views and opinions of B.A. Marcus Frey are the views and opinions of B.A. Marcus Frey himself. They do not represent Orange County Championship Wrestling. They do not represent the Royal Ramble, and they do not represent the views and opinions of Free Admission Channel.
Yeah.
Say it. Come on, I dare you. Moving right along. Thank you, Jack Bruce Davidson. And I just want to tell you, we appreciate your continued correspondence and your ever intrepid knowledge of the world of professional wrestling. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in, Yoga Star.
What did you say?
What?
What did you say? Hey, you know what? Hey. This is your friend. You need to. You need to keep someone.
Sure, I'm the voice
you're the voice of reason.
I'm the
Exactly.
quartet.
You know what? I don't think you're funny, BA. And you know what? You better watch out.
Watch
Right?
what?
All right. I'm gonna have your back in that cage. You keep throwing them Yoga Star references out there.
Hey, she gonna have my back too?
No, she ain't gonna have nothing for you.
She gonna have my back, my front, and
No,
side
yeah,
to
you
side.
don't talk.
Downward dog. What about those Patriots? They're out of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What about them Patriots?
Yeah, what about those Patriots? Let's change the
Football.
subject.
How about them?
How's that
Way to
football?
go, Titans. Thanks for stepping up.
Let's talk about this. Any real Raider fan loves the idea of Tom Brady sitting on his thumb at home.
Oh, I love it.
Let me tell you this. It's very interesting to see how things change from season to season.
Yep.
You know, some people say the more things change, the more they stay the same. In my, albeit slightly biased opinion, I've watched for 20 years the refereeing and the officiating blatantly, it looked like a Vince McMahon engineered type of angle, blatantly favoring the New England Patriots. From the tuck rule against the Raiders 20 years ago to something as simple as last season's playoffs when they did that to Tom Brady and they gave him a roughing the passer foul. And what's his name is getting blasted on the sidelines and there's no calls. Mahomes, yeah. So and throw in between that the filming of the practices and then the sidelines, the deflated balls, all these things that led New England to all these championships, right? And then suddenly none of it.
Well, and then it's so funny to go from, this is the greatest dynasty ever, they should stay together forever, and then all of a sudden they go, well, he's a free agent now, so I guess it's all over.
Well, he's outside.
Like they're really not gonna try and attempt to re-sign.
The Raiders are going to pick him up.
Oh yeah, bullshit. Yeah, that's almost as bad as LeBron James coming to the lake. Well,
stranger things have happened.
Yeah, so there we have it. What do you think about all this?
Football's a made-up sport. I think his outcomes are predetermined. I can't really believe in football. Football's fake.
You know, every time someone talks about wrestling and its integrity, I turn around and say, "Have you watched the Patriots in the playoffs? Have you?" So. Here's an interesting.
Have you seen the Saints get screwed out of a playoff
3 years in a row? Well, they screwed themselves 3 years ago, but the last two, they got, right? You know what? If those things hadn't happened, we'd be talking about Drew Brees as the greatest of all time.
Yeah. Don't want to mention his name. Yeah.
DJ No Show. All right, someone said to me,
the views and opinions
on the ones and oohs.
Someone said to me, "Hey, you know what? Tom Brady's gonna leave and retire this year." After I go, you know what? No, that's wrong. I want him to keep playing. I want him to hang around this league for a couple more years, get his ass ass beat like Joe Montana did, right? And just get fucking let out on a stretcher so his amazing career could end the same way.
That's why as soon as they started singing that song of he's going to go somewhere else other than the Patriots, I said that Patriots offensive line has kept your ass so clean for years. Go somewhere else where the offensive line aren't so good.
There we go. How about the XFL, huh?
They're not going to be kneeling during the anthem, I assure you.
It's
going to be a big deal.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the XFL.
You think Colin Kaepernick can go to the XFL?
You know what? Vince McMahon would sign him.
No, he wouldn't.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, he would.
No, he's been on the phone. Don't you put that boy on no football team.
With his afro and all that nonsense.
With his afro. and his Muslimism.
And his hip and hopping.
There we have it.
Sign Johnny Manziel, that's for sure.
What was that other idiot in Cleveland? Guy can't hit the broadside of a barn from the inside with a shotgun. Baker Mayfield. That guy makes Derek Carr look like Joe Montana. Jesus.
Cleveland knocks it out the park every time they draft somebody.
Why did they draft Johnny Manziel? They knew he was an alcoholic at the time. You know what I mean? He's a skinny alcoholic.
But he can play.
Oh, look at he improvised.
All right,
that means
but
you're
he
on a bad
does this.
team.
He does this.
Wait.
So we need him.
Let me. I hate, at the risk of sounding like a bigot, is this Chauncey Howard your friend?
That's my brother.
Oh, that's your brother? Okay, I had a friend named Chauncey, right? I love that name. I just used to like to say it, Chauncey. Now, Chauncey, that's your brother,
Big
right?
ups, bro.
Hey, thank you for watching, Chauncey. And buy a ticket, or, well, you're his brother. You could probably get in on a pass, Chauncey. I can't stop saying that name. Chauncey. I love that name. I'm glad I now know someone named Chauncey. Do you have any relatives named Chauncey?
Gods know why. What? Oh.
That's an awesome name, Chauncey. All right. Hi, Chauncey. All right.
Do you have a favorite Royal Rumble match, since we're talking about the Royal Rumble?
Do I, like a match, like a one-on-one match?
Yeah, just like the Royal Rumble itself. Not the card necessarily, but like the 30 men.
Okay, yeah, it was the year, I want to say it was 1989, maybe 1990. So that makes it maybe the third Royal Rumble, is when Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage were the superpowers, right? And they were both entered at different times in the Royal Rumble. Okay. And Hulk Hogan comes in there. Oh, Hulk Hogan! He's knocking people out, and he knocks out. He eliminates Randy Savage
like a jerk. Hulk Hogan betrayed everyone.
Yeah, and that was my favorite one, because I was still lost in it. I was still marking out for such things. And I say, look, I told you Hulk Hogan screwed Randy Savage. I've been right all along. I've been right for the last 10 years. Hulk Hogan is not a good dude. And
yet everyone still cheered him.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And the commentator's like, well, he was right. It's a competition. He was right to do it or whatever. But if Randy had done it to him, bastard backstabbed Hulk Hogan.
Exactly.
That was my favorite part, when Hulk Hogan turns heel. Bobby Heenan's like, I've been telling you people. Told you for years he's a bad man. And he was finally right.
Right? You know what? And then later on, through the miracle of internet, we find out that Hulk Hogan in real life is kind of a bastard.
He's quite a douchebag.
Yes.
He's got his foibles.
Oh, man. His foibles? Yeah, he's a bigot. You know, he sells his wife off. What are you going to do, man?
Yeah, we all got problems. Ric Flair.
Azrael said some things that he's regretted. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the portion of our show known as Topics. That's right, Topics, where I will propose a topic to our distinguished panel and our studio audience, and they will have 1 minute in which to air their opinion, pro, con, neither. Who wants to go first?
Well, I mean, what's the
about what?
The topic is the XFL.
Oh, give that to me.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Topics with B.A. Marcus Frey.
I mean, it's really one of those things where, do you really want to beat a dead horse until there's nothing left? It was not successful the first time. I don't know what makes him think it's going to be successful this time around. It's literally the poor man's arena football league, and we all see how that's going. I mean, you might as well sign on the LA Kiss into the XFL. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous, the fact that he would think that something like this could succeed. And yeah, it's going to be one of those things where people are going to go, yeah, the football season's over and I'm craving some football, But why would I go and watch the XFL? I would rather watch, ladies and gentlemen, this thing that's coming up called the X League, which is literally the next transition from the Lingerie Football League, has transitioned from that to the Legends Football League, and then now it's going to be called the X League.
Are they nude?
And these, it's funny because everyone thinks that it's all sexual and everything like that.
Those chicks are badass.
These women can play.
Yeah.
Give them your viewership. Give them any kind of attention that you can, because the X League is absolutely legit.
I agree wholeheartedly with B.A. Marcus Frey. Nothing is better than seeing knowing that women are making strides in that type of, that's what I really like about mixed martial arts. One of the few things I like about modern mixed martial arts is that the women are now making as much money as the men.
And then, and I know that there are chauvinists out there that are going to be sitting there like, oh, I don't want to watch a woman do anything, Azrael.
I watch women do lots of stuff.
Right. But I mean, it's legitimate. It's legitimate
Brazzers,
football.
yes.
Like, so some of these women are actual athletes, and they deserve the accolades and recognition of being true football players.
Strippers are athletes, man.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Does anyone else want to talk about the XFL?
I'll give it
all right.
time.
Oh.
Joey the Bull, the XFL.
I believe times have changed. Social media is going to blow this whole thing up. I understand what B.A. Marcus is saying, but in reality, right now, we didn't have social media back then. As nowadays, it's really huge. I think it's going to take off like a motherfucker. I mean, from people getting injured to seeing like interviews to people posting this shit on Instagram and Facebook, TikTok. It's going to be amazing. And I think you're wrong, BA. I think this is going to take off. People selling merch is going to be crazy. Everybody's going to be sporting their favorite shirt, jerseys. And what's that again? Yeah, and pretty much that's it, And once again, God bless America. God bless the United States.
Why do I fall for this every time?
Every time.
I get
Joey the
this
Bull
time.
rules. Thank you.
We got to give Joey 30 seconds because a minute is way beyond his stamina.
I'd like to comment.
It's all you do.
I'd like to comment on the XFL.
I want to comment on the
All right,
XFL.
you go first.
Are we going to have to do this? All right, fine.
Go.
I think it was a bad idea the first time. I think it's a bad idea this time. I think it's a money sink. I think Vince McMahon's like an old mob boss who's like upset that he made his money in an illegitimate business. So now he's trying to open up like an olive oil factory or whatever.
He's still trying to run rum.
Yeah, he's trying to do something legitimate, He's trying to get into like the real sports. He did like the bodybuilding league in the 90s with Lex Luger's The Flagship.
WFF,
That crashed because who wants to watch that? Ico Pro, I think, was owned by them. He's like, I'm going to sell supplements, and then that went out of business. He tried the XFL the first time, and that went out of business. The idea of a competitive sport is people want to see the best people in the world do it. And the XFL is like third and fourth tier guys who couldn't make it in arena football. Is like your local baker or whatever. The guy from UPS is the wide receiver for the LA team. He's like, I'm going to try out for the XFL, you know what I mean? And I might have a shot at it. Donald Trump is going to support this one over the NFL, so that's why you have all the hatred for the NFL lately, because that's his boy. But no, it's not going to work.
All right, interesting. Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Ha!
All right, I like that.
Bad for the stock.
I like that. Bad for the stock. That's right.
Stock
I
price
agree.
will plummet.
All right, I'm going to weigh in
Sell
on
now.
this. I'm going to weigh in on this, and I'll stop talking when I'm done because someone's obviously too busy to work the timer.
Hey.
The XFL, when it started way back, it was at 1999, I believe, maybe 2000, right? It was met with great fanfare. I hear Joey the Bull say, hey, it's really going to take off because of social media. It's really going to take off. It's really going to take off here. People say, yeah, this is going to get taken. Here's the problem. If you were there, you realize that it did take off. It had the highest viewership of anything in its time slot at that time in years. Millions of people tuned in. Many of the first games were sellouts. Guys like JR and even I think was it Jesse the Body Ventura were announcing for everyone tuned in to watch the XFL. Why? Because it was the middle of the Attitude Era. The Rock walked out to center field and said, "Welcome to blah blah blah." Stone Cold Steve Austin was there. JR was there. Vince McMahon was there. It had all the fanfare any sports league that I've ever seen has ever had when it started. And they sold it. Well, we're going to encourage you to date the cheerleaders, and we're going to take the helmets into the locker rooms, or the helmets, the cameras into the locker rooms, and we have these things with the cameras that fly over, all this stuff, right? And it's going to be Smash Mouth Hard. It's going to be Vince McMahon, and you have... Stone Cold and The Rock and Mankind cutting promos for the XFL. And then ultimately, when the whistle blew and the game started and the ball got kicked, it was just people wanted to see clotheslines like that game NFL Blitz.
It was amateur football.
It was amateur. It came down. It wasn't pro wrestling football.
Nope.
It wasn't pro wrestling style football. It was just bad football.
And I think what is even worse for them now is the fact that he said they're doing things differently. They're keeping wrestling and the XFL separate. So you're not going to get what you got last time, like the biggest star in wrestling walking out on game one or the announcers that like Jerry the King Lawler and guys like they're keeping it totally separate, which I think is a terrible idea.
It is a terrible idea.
you are literally taking the one thing that made you prominent the first time, and you're saying, oh, none of that. We're not doing that. We're not going to have The Rock come out this time and to do the coin flip for the first game. We're not going to have Stone Cold, who is probably one of the greatest that you could have involved in this. We're not going to have him involved in it because we want to keep the world
Didn't
separate.
you already have a minute to talk about this? All right. Hey, Chauncey, does he do this? Does he do this when you were kids? Did he go into the bathroom, take a big dump, come back out, and then go back in and comb his hair?
If you know anything about me, a minute is never long enough for me.
Oh, please. That's enough to do it 3 times for you in a minute.
Put on your
Am
spandex.
I right, Chauncey? Huh? This guy.
So let's be real. I'm letting you know what it is. The XFL is not going to be successful. You are right, Joey, about the fact that it will rage on social media. People will be talking about it for days on social media. But what they will be saying is how terrible it is.
I agree.
And that's what's going to work against it.
All right. Our next topic and our final topic of the evening is WWE Films. The movie studio that is owned by Vince McMahon that has employed the likes of John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kane, The Miz, and Ted DiBiase Jr., all these people.
Dolph Ziggler.
Yes, that's right, Dolph Ziggler. So our topic is WWE Films. For the first one, we would go to the man known as the Dark Lord of the Ring, Azrael.
He looks like he really wants to talk about this.
Okay.
Okay.
The movies have never been. They're horrible movies. They're really bad movies. It's like there's this acting done by guys that aren't trained in acting. It's a totally different thing.
It's like watching actors wrestle.
It's a redo of the Marine over and over. It's like it's okay if you take like Hulk Hogan in like 19 and put him in Suburban Commando because like he's got a big audience from wrestling and they want to put him fighting the Undertaker, but they're both space aliens or whatever. But it's like the Miz is not gonna in a dramatic way carry a performance in like the Oscar or whatever. So the wrestling guys crossing over into the movies makes sense, but trying to make like a whole movie based off of them, it could be a good idea because some of the characters you could make a 2-hour movie. I can make a 2-hour movie about like the Undertaker or Kane or like, maybe Triple H if he's like the Conan the Barbarian or whatever. But then you have like. How do I make a 2-hour movie about the Seth Rollins character? You know what I mean? Like, he does CrossFit or whatever, and then him and Becky make out on Instagram and stuff. It's like, but that's not a 2-hour movie that I want to watch. It's like, they don't have characters like that. Maybe the Demon, Finn Balor, could be a 2-hour movie. That could be of interest. But not Finn Balor with a little leather jacket that walks around in Japan. You know what I mean?
Interesting. And thank you very much. That's a very interesting take. Okay, the topic, once again, for those of you who missed it, is WWE Films. For this, we go to BA Marcus Frey.
I mean, if we want to start that clock anytime, that would be great. But I'm gonna put it like this: this is the reason why me and him are tag team champions because we are on the same accord. Their movies are absolutely absolutely terrible. If you want an example, please go watch that horror movie that Kane was involved in, and the
See No Evil, is that what it's called?
yeah, and the horror part of it was the fact that it lasted longer than an hour. Like it's terrifyingly bad. That's what it is. And I mean, then you go to all the Marine movies, and the first one was something that you might be able to cling to and go, sure, John Cena as a Marine, he's always running around with his brother's dog tags on. Why not? Why wouldn't I believe that he's a Marine? But then you replace him with The Miz and Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
Did Randy Orton really play the Marine?
Randy Orton was
the guy that went AWOL.
Exactly.
He also played in The Condemned too.
Yeah, like stuff like that. The only actor that I feel like actually carried a WWE film and did a good job was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And I'm gonna follow up on that. It's gonna be my turn because I want to talk about it because I watched Robert.
Hulk Hogan, no, 2 minutes.
No, 1 minute's fine. Okay, when the first WWE film came out into theaters and it was released in theaters, I was skeptical at best because even back then I wasn't a real fan of WWF at the time, and it's WWE now. And it was The Condemned with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I watched this movie, and it was what it was. It was a Chuck Norris, Michael Dudikoff, Jean-Claude Van Damme level type of action flick for the late 90s, early 2000s. And I was thrilled to death with how good it was, right? It was a unique concept for the time of these death matches on this island and everything like that. And it was well paced. It was well thought out. The acting from Stone Cold Steve Austin was really quite good, right? And I was really excited for these movies that were going to be coming from the WWE studios. And then I saw, like you said, a whole 10 minutes of See No Evil. And after that, when they start putting that Nimrod, Shawn Michaels, and all these other people, and I saw the Marine wasn't bad, right. But all these, I'm like, Vince, how are you making money on these films?
You have all these grade A writers for your WWE shows,
which sucks.
That are terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to write for Buffy. Yeah, and it seems like it.
Yeah,
but you can't. You telling me you can't hire a good writer to write a script for a WWE film?
What I don't understand, they've probably put out at least 100 movies at this point, right? Yeah. How are they making money? I know these are not box office successes. Do people like
half of them don't even make it to the box office anymore? Straight to DVD?
But do people buy the network just to watch those films?
No.
Okay.
Which is why they're going straight to the network now, because they know that at the end of the day you don't really lose anything on it. Because people are still subscribers. So you might not be gaining subscriptions because of these films, but as a subscriber, because of the fact that you're paying that $9.99 a month, which I stopped doing.
I get that.
You might key in.
No, let's say you have a kid and his favorite wrestler is
Hulk Hogan,
The Miz, right? Aww. And you're like, okay, well, if you sit down here and eat your lunch, I'll put on a movie with The Miz, and then they watch it.
And that's exactly what you got.
All right, fair enough.
I think it shows a problem in their writing that they can't make the 2-hour movie about the character that's on the wrestling show. Does that make sense? Like, John Cena has to be a Marine, or The Miz has to be a Marine.
Why can't it be John Cena and tell
Why can't there be a 2-hour movie about, say, like the demon Finn Balor?
And maybe it culminates. Maybe it culminates in the ring.
I mean, you could even make a movie, an hour and a half, 2-hour movie about The Undertaker.
Right?
And I would sit down and watch it. I actually read the Undertaker comic book back in the day.
Yeah.
Because it was entertaining. So you flip that around and you make a movie about this guy and why The Undertaker is The Undertaker and what he does.
Like, show his parents getting burned. Show the funeral parlor getting burned.
Or you didn't have to do
Kane stumbles
You didn't have to do Kane as See No Evil. You could have done Kane as Kane.
There you go.
This guy is a psychopath pyromaniac you couldn't build a movie about.
And look, if you had a movie about each, there you go. You have a movie universe, right? Where they come together at some point.
Like, there was a Stone Cold Steve Austin comic book that was really, really good, and it's about him like wandering Texas and solving crimes and whatever, and like beating people up.
Oh, he's Walker,
and
Texas
it's like,
Ranger.
if you do 2 hours, kinda like he jumped on a helicopter and beat up a bunch of dudes, and he gave them the stunner in the helicopter. Do that. Like, there's a line of WWE comic books. books. And if you read those, they're all very good. And they're about the characters that are in the ring. I remember when it was like Big Boss Man versus the Mountie, and they're in Canada, and there's a ring, and they tear down the trees and the rocks, and they go at it. Yeah, it was like a big thing.
That's cool.
Boss Man versus the Mountie. Or like the Ultimate Warrior's doing his workout all day, and $1 Million Man is so devious that he bolts the weights to the floor, so Ultimate Warrior can't lift the whole rack of stuff, so he feels defeated, but then he realizes what happened, he rips the whole thing out of the ground, and he beats up Ted DiBiase. You know what I mean? Like story. Whoever's writing the comic book, write the show. Write the show for me.
You can say the same thing about some of these Marvel movies.
Yeah, right? Oh, thank God.
Whoever's writing that book, write the movie.
Write the movie.
Certainly for DC. All right, one more time before we go. We are up against it. Ladies and gentlemen, Saturday, February 1st at American Legion Post 716, OCCW presents Cage Match at the American Legion Post 716. 5 exciting matches, all in the steel cage. You will see the OCCW heavyweight title be defended. You will see our men here, the tag team champions, Thunder
Lightning.
and Lightning.
Reverse that.
Lightning and Thunder.
Do I look like a white Flash?
No, yes.
Okay.
Thunder and Lightning will defend against the boys from Lucha Pro, the Dead Collectors, Mikey O'Shea and Vito Vipac Fratelli.
The only thing they collecting is another ass whooping.
Well, they'll collect another ass
I
whooping.
don't know nobody nothing, especially no child support payment. You stay away from me, Mikey O'Shea.
And we will also see the American Legion title defended, Freddie Havoc against Joey Barone against Luis Tapia in a 3-way dance for the Legion title. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Jonathan Malice. The man to my left is Azrael, his tag team partner, my right, B.A. Marcus Frey. We'd like to send a special thanks out to Jack Bruce Davidson, our foreign correspondent, and for Joey the Bull.
That's right.
I want to wish you all a happy day, night, evening, and may all your bumps be taken in the ring.